guys, Tomboy61, and we are back. We are on Trap, and we are going to have a fantastic game. One where we get 5 medals in, like, all at once. It's beautiful. It's going to be magical. So, if that sounds like a good game, make sure you stay tuned. So, we are in the Francisco Caraccilio, and we are running the good old Paolo di Revel. Our 2 inspirations on it are going to be Von Hipper and Scharnhorst, and we've kind of built this as a secondary machine and one that's all about the brawls. And that's kind of just how you have to play the Italian battleships, and that's why I've really been enjoying playing them. So we want to get in close. We want to kind of push other targets. We want to be able to get in range of those secondaries. Secondaries don't have the biggest range. It's just over 6 kilometers. So we have to be careful. We want to bait people in. We want to push where we can. And when we can get those secondaries engaged, we want to use them to their fullest ability. So we are going around the right-hand side here, just using this island to get us into sea. That way, if any enemy ships decide to push into sea, we have the shortest distance from being out in cover to being able to engage them. So that's why we're going around the sea flag here. And right in front of us comes a Boise, and we're like, oh, hello there, Mr. Broadside Ship. We'll go ahead, fire the front guns, fire the rear guns, of course, overpens all over, and he has a friend, another Boise, following him. So we do need to start to kind of be a little careful, because 2 Boises, while they are just Helenas, kind of with a super heal, we do need to be careful because they are 2 fire-starting ships, and they can absolutely put a hurting on us and our friendly North Carolina, that is kind of going to be our side gunner, our wingman throughout this game. Anyways, the other enemy ship that spawned on this side with us is this Gneisenau, and this is where we need to start to be careful because, well, us and Gneisenau, we kind of have the same mentality, most likely, right? We want to get in close, we want to brawl. Gneisenau wants to use his torps, so we need to be careful, but luckily our mid spawn is going to be keeping him very distracted. As you can see, he is full nose in towards our mid spawn because they are who is more threatening to him, and we will take it. We will take the ability to kind of push his side. And now that we are getting within range, we are going to start kind of playing with our speed because we don't know if Gneisenau has gone ahead and launched any torpedoes towards us. We want to kind of play with the speed. We go ahead and get the 2 fires set on us by the Boises. They've started to separate. We're starting to take in a couple of shots. Andrea Doria takes and gets a good hit on us. We see him. We're like, okay, you want to play this game? We are a tier up on you. We will teach you a lesson. Not with that first shot, but second set of rounds is out, and boom, 10,000 hit on him. That's exactly what we like to do. We're kind of just biding our time because if you can see, we've kind of dropped spot. The Boises have decided to kind of hide behind islands, which is kind of what they're supposed to do. And because of that, we have gone ahead and totally lost spot on them. And we are slowly starting to gain some points. Gneisenau now outside of the cap circle, which is kind of surprising, but he's trying to deal with those other ships. We go ahead and take him down. We go ahead and drop spot, though that brief time where he did spot us allows the Boise to kind of take an eye on us. It kind of points the Boise's interest in us. So what we go ahead and do, because we want to not get completely reset all the time by these enemy Boises, which they could absolutely do, we're going to go ahead and use our first smoke screen to cover both us and our friendly North Carolina right there. He ends up getting a beautiful dev strike on the Boise right there, and now we are both nicely hidden inside the smoke and able to capture C without any worries of being reset, which is exactly what we wanted to do. So we have C. Now it's time to kind of take an idea of what is going on the map and start to formulate a plan. We could start chasing after the Boise, but it would kind of take us out of the match. And I'm kind of confident in North Carolina and our ability to sail away from the Boise and still get in some good hits on him. Also, I kind of want to take out this Andrea Doria, who we have a beautiful crossfire set up right here. We want to exploit this kind of exploit this angle that we can get on him. So we're going to do that, take him out of the match, and now allow our rear guns to start engaging that Boise while we push into B, and we're gonna kind of let it develop, because if you look inside of B, there are 2 cruisers, and well, B is a nice encircled area of islands, which means we get some close quarters ranges, which means we can use our secondaries. And as we said at the beginning of the match, we want to use those secondaries, so that is where we're going to be drawn. We can also see that the Boise can't really run. He's at the map edge and still within a relative close distance of 10 kilometers. So our guns are still going to be somewhat effective at hitting the Boise. Of course, the Italian battleships, their guns not the most accurate, but they can still put hurt, and we're going to go ahead and use that to our advantage while we come in to B. If we kind of take a look at what's inside of B, it was a Pensacola and a Le Gosselier. Of course, both tier 5 cruisers, ones whose armor we can easily punch through, and that's exactly what our plan is going to be. We can go ahead, kind of wait for these guns to reload and fire off there. He does end up getting 2 fires on us, which means we do need to approach this upcoming encounter with a little bit of caution, because we don't want that Le Gosselier to use his torpedoes on us and to get us in a flooding situation, because we did just use our damage con to put out those fires. So we want to start kind of planning on how we're going to take out this Le Gosselier. We're going to leave the Boise for the rest of our ships to kind of take care of. We can see they've hit their shots. They're competent in doing it. We can leave them. This Le Gosselier hasn't pushed into B. They haven't taken B yet. We have this beautiful shot on him. Shells coming in, as you can see, the kind of the spread that we're getting, and we get 2 full pens and an overpen into that magic French space armor, which is absolutely fine. We know within the next salvo, we're going to go ahead and hit him. Given the way he is right now, how he was nose in, we're not very confident that he's put any torps into the water. And now that he has that sandbar between us and gone full broadside, we're not worried about torps at all. So we can go ahead, continue pushing, throw out this salvo, and go ahead and take out the Le Gosselier. Now, right here, this is one of my pet peeves in the game, is when you're spotted by a plane and you can't see where the goddamn plane is. Because you're like, oh, where? I feel like I'd be able to see the plane. Anyways, we go ahead, drop spot there after the 20 seconds on the cooldown for our detection bubble to kind of shrink. And we're just going to let this fly. We're going to let this chill right here. Take B, get the points. Right now, it is 4v4. We have 3 kills. We're doing good. And we just kind of want to start plotting what we want to do. So right now, I think there's really 2 options. We can see the majority of our team is to the north of us right now. We don't really want to join them. We want to spread out. We want to get crossfires where we can. So what we're going to do is kind of just plan on pushing towards the south, go around the south edge of the island. That way we can maybe pull the team's attention somewhere else. Nagato showing enough side for us to be able to get a nice salvo there. We get the first shots in. We're going to go ahead, pop our rear guns. I know our detection radius when firing is close to 11, but I think it ends up being like 13 or something. So we end up being exposed as we make our transition over here. The original plan was to kind of try to stay in stealth while we were flat broadside. We're going to end up taking a couple of hits that we didn't need to, but while we're exposed, we kind of drop spot right here, and we're like, okay, we'll hold it, last second fire. We forgot it was the front guns that were reloaded, not the rear guns, and because of that, the majority of those end up flying into the island, but we are angling well to be able to take on that Nagato once we come around, but our friendly North Carolina ends up taking out that Nagato, but we still want to position and push ourselves this way. We do take a fairly substantial salvo from either the Arizona or the New Mexico right there, but we've gone ahead, drop spot. It's safe for us to kind of maneuver around this island, and then we can start engaging where we need to engage. Pensacola, he ends up kind of popping out just enough where we should be able to maybe land a shot if we're lucky. I think we end up landing one of the shells right there, which is exactly what we want to do. And now we've kind of taken ourselves out of this match. And I know you don't usually want to do this, but the end positioning we have on for rotating around this way is definitely going to be beneficial. As we can see, there are 3 ships are more positioned and kind of angled into taking on our ships that are up to the north, and we want to be able to exploit those broadsides, and that is what the battleship is supposed to do. I know we're in a brawler battleship, but we do have the speed to be able to reposition to make these calls and to kind of be able to push in close. So that is what we've done here. We have repositioned. We are now within range of that New Mexico, or the New Mexico is within range of us. Arizona protected by that island, which means it is going to be open season on trying to take out that New Mexico. And that New Mexico, well, he's looking pretty darn broadside to us. So we're going to go ahead and line up the shot, see our first shot's out. New Mexico takes a massive hit from the North Carolina. North Carolina says, hey, let's fire at the New Mexico. He's almost down. We try to assist, only getting one hit right there. And we're like, okay, we know the New Mexico's the next one down. If we can take him down, they'll eliminate any of the guns on his side. North Carolina frantically trying to indicate on the New Mexico. New Mexico sends in the HE on the North Carolina, which sadly knocks out the North Carolina. North Carolina was at 4 kills. He was in the hunt for the Kraken, and sadly he does end up going down there. A moment of silence for him, because if you look, it's been me and him, the only two getting kills so far. So our main teammate, our rear gunner, is now out of the game. We need to step it up. Anyways, our smoke is back online, and the Arizona just fired at us, which means for the next 20 seconds, we can hold our fire and let our secondary start tearing in to the Arizona. This can be beneficial. The American ships, they don't have the most armor, and they do have fairly large superstructure. So the SAP can do some fairly substantial damage. We go ahead, ignite our secondary battery booster. He fires again right as he drops spot, which lets us fire again. He's full broadside. At that point, we're like, okay, I think we have a good shot. Smoke is starting to kind of wind on down. We're going to go ahead, turn on in this way. We don't need to worry about the Pensacola right now. It's not like he can sneak up to us and torpedo us. So we just need to continue to angle on this Arizona. I think we have about equal health at this point, but as far as positioning goes, I think we are definitely winning the positioning as it stands. We ended up dropping spot, and then we kind of peek out right here, get another substantial salvo on him, and we're just trying to keep ourselves angled correctly. We don't know where that Pensacola is, but to me, I feel like he's out behind those islands. We don't really need to worry about him. He does, the Arizona does get a nice salvo there. We go ahead, get our rear guns. We're like, okay, this is going to be the one. Sadly, it's not. But Arizona now whittled down to the very low health, and we take a massive hit from our port side. Mr. Pensacola doing his best job and trying to win the game for them. Good on him, but our secondaries are going to tear it apart. We get 4 medals, 5 medals right there. The Kraken, the High Caliber, the Close Quarters, the Dreadnought, and I forget what the last one is, but 5 medals in that last little section right there. And it is a good match all around. Shout out to the North Carolina player who absolutely helped us. Oh, we got the double strike. That was the other one. So yeah, guys, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.